We have the Reverend Dr. Kwabena Oponing Frimpong, and in here right now is DSP Freeman Tete of the Police Public Affairs Department of the Ghana Police Service. Good morning to you, sir. Welcome to the show.
Good morning, Mama V. Good morning, Roland.
Thank you. How are you?
We are doing well.
Great, great.
How is the police interpreting this prophecy?
I think we are not interested in the prophecies. It's our security. We had all this information, and it was put out there by the National Security Council that Ghana is on high security alert. So right from there, we started putting in measures to forestall any untoward attack on this dear country of ours. So it is not about prophecy. It's about security. So we are far ahead of the information that came yesterday from TB Joshua. It's nothing new at all.
You know, the Reverend talked about the way you, the checkpoints will stop the cars and check, and even, you know, give an example of all you need is to drive, you know, like a good four-wheel drive, tint the glass a little bit, skip the red light, just put, you know, your amber on and just keep driving. With this, we won't get anywhere, really.
It is an attitude, and it's about law enforcement. And quite recently, the top hierarchy of the police administration went to town to clamp down and discipline and reckless driving in town. And these are some of the actions that they tried to prevent. And a new orientation has been given to the MTTU as well as the visibility unit to be on the lookout for drivers who try to take the law into their hands. So in as much as we may say some people are still doing it, it's about we being on the ground to make sure that corporates are arrested, and we've deployed enough men and women to make sure that at any point in time that you sight such vehicles, you have to make sure that they are apprehended. Some of this thing can definitely happen at the blind side of the police, but that does not mean that it's a field day for them.
Okay, so Roland, when you're stopped by the police, have you been stopped before?
I've been stopped severally.
What do they take you through?
Well, they take me through the regular checks. They would want first, if it's in the evening, I need to roll down my glasses so that they can have my lights on. If I don't have the better illumination, then they'll have to use their torch lights, etc., to go through. They try to look at the boots, look beneath the car, and then I think those are the basic things they do. Of course, we'll ask questions where you're heading, where you're going, and then also where you've been. And so far, I think just a normal psychological.
But DSP, my experience is quite different from his. My boot has never been checked under the car. No, I haven't been asked where are you headed.
Maybe
what's
it depends
the normal
on where
thing that you should expect on the road when
normal
you're
thing
stopped?
is what Roland has just said. But sometimes we look at the person, a familiar face, for instance, the disposition of the person. It's a random check. It's a snap check. So you don't pick vehicle by vehicle. It's actually selective. Because if there's a huge traffic, people are close from work, they have to get home. So you don't necessarily inconvenience them. So even in highly sophisticated and countries that are on high alert, I'm talking about the danger, they don't know, it's not in every bit of movement that is checked. There'll be suspicious characters that must be picked. That is exactly what we are doing.
You know my little interpretation. Roland looks more like a criminal. I don't.
Well, it's not about he looking like a criminal. Maybe it just happened that he has been checked. Tomorrow he may not be checked. And sometimes he can even get familiar with Roland and they may not check him. But there are certain places.
There are times that have been
surely.
Been checked.
But there are certain places at every point in time you must be checked. For instance, when you are entering the police headquarters, no matter whom you are, they have to thoroughly check your vehicle and thoroughly check your body. And we want the same thing to be replicated at very sensitive places. And even the churches, we want some of this thing to be done at the churches. Some of this thing are being done at the major hotels. We have police presence at all these places. So we want those who are running their individual businesses to also acquire some of this gadget, get the needed training so that they can come on board for all of us to be on top of security. It's a collaboration. It's a collective thing that we want the public. And it's when we talk about terror threat and preparedness, it's not only about the police, it's about the military. They've also have the measures in place. The police are also there. We have a counter-terrorism unit, the BNI, and other security intelligence units in the country have put measures in place to allay the fears of Ghanaians and also be in readiness to nip it in the bud. We cannot be everywhere, but it's actually intelligence-led. It's not about going to Dompoase in Ashanti region to put those stringent measures in place, because when you do your analysis, you could see that those places will not necessarily come under threat. But there are places in Accra, there are places in Kumasi that are on our watch list. There are places in Takoradi that are on our watch list. So it's very, very key to us. So the fact that you don't see heavy police presence in Tripoli does not suggest that our intelligence is not pointing out to that direction.
I'm just having
and it's not about heavy police presence actually. It's about intelligence. The intelligence is very key to us than physical police or military presence. Even though we've put some of these measures in place, we go to the mall, you find our men and on joint operation with the military, you go to other key places.
And I'm just having a chat with a friend of mine, Anaya Jemfi Kese, Alfred Nyako, and he seems to suggest that throughout the last few weeks, the whole thought has been on hotels, perhaps places of gathering, etc. But if you look at what pertains or has pertained in Nigeria, you've had markets, gathering of churches, and even
and sometimes mosque
as well as
the stadium,
the lorry station.
Surely
the lorry stations, and this is and these are not featuring in the communication to the public.
Well, this is just an assurance and also eliciting public support so that we can run a very effective system. So, but as I indicated, we are drawing everybody's attention to be wary of places that attract large gathering. It's actually, we are cutting that across. And it's important that the public get involved in those measures. It is important that the public get curious. It is equally important that the public live up to expectation by providing constant information to the police. The list for suspicion should be reported to the police. And I'm happy to take note of the fact that recently, even though it turned out that those Pakistanis have some kind of legal status in this country by way of having the requisite document, it's important to commend the people of that part of the central region who immediately provided information to the police, leading to the apprehension of said people. So these are the things that we want from the public. And aside of that, take note of little things that are potential danger. For example, abandoned vehicles. Quickly alert the security. Any object lying on the floor that you saw as a threat, not necessarily a threat, but that looks strange, just alert the security. It could be the police, it could be the BNI, it could be the military. Just let us have that information. We'll quickly act on it. We don't want you to just go about pouncing on any suspicious person or any person that looks like an Arab or whatever. That is not the way we want things to be handled. We are not talking about mob justice here. And when we talk about terror, it's not about somebody's color, it's not about somebody's outlook. It's about concrete information so that we act on it.
Roland, there's a message from Ima in Japan. Ima seemed to have a lot more confidence in the military, very little in the police, thinking that the military is a lot more prepared to handle something like this. But here's another one from another one that says, "Good morning, Mama. I was expecting you to meet also the Muslim leadership in this country, just as you did for the Christian body." Okay, you're running ahead of us, aren't you? But thank you very much for the message. You didn't include your name. Kindly include your name when you send us a message. This one says, "Good morning, Mama V and Roro. All places of convergence must be on high alert. Malls, schools. Do you remember the attack on the university in Kenya? There should be mass education to the public. A line to call when we see or hear anything suspicious. I see these terrors on CNN on a daily basis, and I tell you, it is not pleasant at all. God speaks. So this is what we'll do in the next 30 seconds to 1 minute. Send me the emergency numbers to the Ghana Police Service, our emergency lines. If you know it, if it's on your phone, just forward it to 0560 800,000. Tell me where you are reaching me from. We want to have a little idea of how many people readily have the emergency numbers. And then we will tell you at the end of our conversation what the numbers are. You wanted to react?
I just
to
want to react on the first comment sent by one of our listeners or viewers. It is not about the police, it's not about the military, it's about state security being proactive. You see, we work with the military, we work with the BNI, we work with other state security agencies. So it's a collaboration. So the state security apparatus is more than prepared to tackle any threat head on. The police are there, the military are there, the intelligence agency are there, and it's more of an intelligence-led operation. The military have their intelligence component, the police have their intelligence component, besides the uniform component. So it's not about having confidence in the military and not having confidence in the police.
Yeah. Quick
For
one.
years, we've been working with the military.
Sure.
For years, we've been working with other security agencies.
Okay, before Roland comes in.
So our mind shouldn't be focused on just an aspect of security.
Sure.
It's
Emmanuel
collective.
Tete is in La Paz, and he wants me to ask, what are you doing about tinted glass vehicles?
We've been arresting them when it comes to our attention. And I want to take this opportunity to advise those who are driving tinted glass vehicles to desist from that, because the Inspector General of Police has given strict instruction per the Road Traffic Act that every tinted vehicle should be
What if it
arrested.
comes with a vehicle? Because there are some vehicles that
You have
that
to
come tinted.
alter it.
Is it the whole vehicle, or you can have, the back?
It's about tinted
windows?
vehicle, whether front, back, side is tinted vehicle. At least we need to know what is going on in the vehicle.
There's a law on that?
There's a law on that.
I
Surely.
didn't know that. I use a bit of a tint though. Okay, I've been told by the police a couple of times.
Sometimes we advise them. It's not in every case that we arrest. We advise you to go and change it. But if you don't, then the next time they will take note of you and arrest you.
It's important that institutions like yours also tend to give a lot more confidence to the citizenry. And so you may also be taking all the necessary steps. How effectively has or is your collaboration with sub-regional security agencies, so that we know that cross-border movement are not likely to also be influenced?
Very effective, and I believe most of the information that the state intelligence agency has gotten is not from within, it's from sister countries. So we have a very cross-border collaboration, because it just happened in Burkina Faso and Cote d'Ivoire. Obviously, they will have something to tell us, or we may ask them certain questions, and all those things are within our domain that we are working seriously on. So we are not working in isolation. We are not picking internal information alone, because that wouldn't help us much, because they have suffered. I'm not here to talk for state intelligence, but the fact that as a police officer, we get information from all those sectors through. We get information from the BNI, National Security, and those informations are gotten mostly from our side.
Okay.
I'm talking with regards to these terror alerts.
Okay, so I asked the question about the emergency numbers. Let me just quickly run through some of the things that people have sent. This one from Takrady says 191. This from Kumasi, Kofi Esiedu in Kumasi says 191 and 18555. Okay, I have to do this a bit quickly. Regina in Oyarifa says 191 police. And this one, okay, this one also says, this is Milad from Tamale. Milad says 191 or 18555. Somaila, okay, I'm on the emergency numbers, only the emergency numbers. Okay, Johnson is in Sunyai, and Johnson says 18555, 191, and 193. I think I got one, which was 112 or something. Is that an emergency number?
That is the national emergency.
The 112.
Number.
Okay.
I think you've tried it before.
I have tried it. The experience wasn't good.
Well, I believe they've taken note of that.
They have? I doubt. Okay, let me share my experience. I called 112, which is a national emergency number.
112?
112. That's a national, it's not directly to the police. I was asked to give the details of my emergency, and then they will pass it on to the police. That was my disappointment, because I was expecting them to link me directly to the police or fire service or wherever I wanted my emergency to go. You get what I mean?
Yes.
So that was my disappointment. I thought it was not good enough. So this is not on the spot. I'm passing on some information.
Anyway,
besides,
it's a good feedback for them. I believe they've taken note of it.
Do they work closely with you?
Well, it's a national emergency number. Definitely, they should be working closely with the police. That is why we are all supposed to take our source from there, even though we have our emergency numbers.
Yeah.
But I will suggest to the public that since this is something new, they should more or less tend to focus more on the police emergency numbers. The 18555 for MTN Vodafone is a toll-free line. Then the 191 for all networks is also a toll-free line. But that does not mean that you should not have credit on your phone, because it's not only about terror alerts, it's about general security. So there are certain times you can call a next door neighbor or a friend closer to you to do the callings on your behalf.
David in Kumasi says 999. Is that part of it? 999.
No, it's wrong.
Okay.
It's 191 and 18555.
Okay.
Some
I think
people
I've called 1855.
Yes, some limit it
There's
to just
1855 and then 18.
And then if it doesn't go through, they'll be complaining.
So it should be
it's 35. 18555. 555.
Is that the one that I know?
Yes,
don't know
that's the one that you know.
The one
There's another one that I have, which is 0302773906.
Maybe they are.
It is a landline,
Okay.
which is also reliable.
Okay. All right. Let me just give it all out. You know, you never know which one of them could help you at any point. 0302773906. Okay. We have to end our conversation here. I mean, this is definitely to be continued. But what's the last tip that you give to everybody?
The last tip, I wish we could always tell people to avoid going to crowded places. People might equally
Especially
have
around
fun.
these times, you say?
Yesterday I was at the Junction Mall, and it was small, a deserted place, which was very pathetic.
Oh.
We are not saying people should panic. Go about your normal duty, but adhere to security measures in place, and also collaborate with the police and other security agencies. So we are not saying Ghanaians should panic.
So you think that this is stopping people from going to
They should feel free.
Places
What
like
is
that?
important is security measures who are being given. We want people to submit themselves to security check, and also give us information on strange behaviors, strange objects that are unusual things or unusual occurrences.
Okay.
So we are still pleading that people should go about their
right.
normal way. It's not about prophecy, it's about security.
Okay, I like that. It's not about prophecy, it's about security. DSP Freeman Tete, we appreciate your time here with us this morning.
Thank you.
Yeah. When we come back, we will have another conversation. We will all try to figure out a way forward. So go nowhere, stay with us. I'm looking for a solution to a problem that I'm presenting to you, or maybe a challenge this morning here on the show.